Peace, family, peace. We are now live. All right. It's going to be a great show for you tonight, family. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Let me know if y'all can hear me. I'm using a different computer tonight. So let me know if y'all can hear me. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Make sure you share this with your friends, family. Hit that like button. It's going to be a great show. I'm with Aquarius and Maximus. Welcome back to the platform, sis.
Hey.
Indeed, indeed. I got shout out to King Simon with the numerology. I don't even have my computer, so I can't show the ads today. But shout out to my brother King Simon, who always holding it down with numerology. And I got the cardology expert on here today, Aquarius Maximus. So shout out to all the spiritual readers out there. You know what I'm saying, family? Real quick, for those who are asking, in terms of before we get started with the show, in terms of the interview with Victor Bowman, yeah, there's just a lot of confusion going on with the family with the interview. So we're gonna I decided to take it down, and me and the brother will be doing something in the near future. But as of right now, some things got to be worked out. You know what I'm saying? Behind the scenes, things I won't mention on the camera. But yeah, so I YouTube didn't take that down. I took that down. But yeah, I look forward to work with the brother in the future on something as well. You know what I'm saying? Something good in terms of health. You know what I'm saying? So stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. You know what I'm saying, family? But to get into the show tonight, oh man, we got a show tonight. We got an amazing announcement tonight. Every nigga is a star. You know, Bobby Hemmett said that. You know, Aquarius Max's Bobby Hemmett used to say that. Every nigga is a star. So yeah, family, we got a special announcement. What's going on now that I find interesting is that I remember when the pandemic started and the CMOS industry took off and it was booming and everybody had CMOS. That same thing is happening right now with the spiritual reading community, where I mean it's taken off so much where that's the best scam on the internet right now. The Nigerians, they on Instagram killing the game. Asking y'all
They've
to talk.
actually been on Instagram for a while. They started out there's a couple of scams that they were doing, but now they've caught on to what we do in terms of the spiritual readings that we do. So now they're like, it's no more we're coming in your inbox wanting to offer you, real babalawo now.
Yeah,
Now they like, oh, we're a
yeah.
tarot reader or a cardologist or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they're getting it.
Yeah. And that's for a reason. It's we're in very, 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 very spiritual times right now, family. And I look forward to this interview tonight because, like I said, we got an announcement. We're actually getting ready to offer a workshop, a Cardology Masterclass Workshop, and I'm about to share the link right now. And the thing about it is, with this workshop, is people are spending so many money on reading, so many readings a year. The sister Aquarius Maximus wants to teach you how to fish. She's not just going to give you a fish, she's going to teach you how to fish. So we all should be out here, and it's fine to get a reading here and there, but we all should be able to read these things for ourselves, understands the signs, understand the symbols, understand the numbers and things, what's going on. So the sister's offering a cardology masterclass at a discounted rate, the same thing Wayne Chandler did earlier in the year for me, courtesy of my channel. So we're getting ready to offer that and share the link. I want to thank the sister for coming on here and offering this masterclass. It's going to be on September 3rd. You said I signed you, Amber, you said you signed up. I just posted. You ain't signed up, Amber. I just posted. You signed up already. I just posted it. You ain't signed up. People just on here lying. I signed up. I just posted it an hour ago. I ain't even get an email saying you signed up. So yeah, but I'm about to share the link right now. So but it's going to be absolutely amazing, y'all. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be an opportunity, like I said, for us to learn how to fish and not just be fed fish. It's going to be an opportunity for us to read the signs, read the symbols, and also help our friends and family. You may have a brother that's not spiritual at all, but you may read his chart and you may be able to offer him advice that he wouldn't normally get from yourself or from anybody else. So it's absolutely amazing. I want to thank Aquarius Maximus for coming on here and offering that for my platform. I'm gonna share the link. And to start out with, in terms of cardology, Shout out to all the readers. King Simon with the numerology, Rod Cool. I see something very special. It's weird because I see something extremely special in cardology, and it's like almost like a combination of all the systems. Tell me exactly what is a cardology, and how does it make it? Why is it so powerful? Why are people able to get such amazing results doing these cardology readings?
Well, what cardology is actually based on, and it could go back older, but one of the oldest references we can go to is the Egyptian calendar of good and bad days.
Mm.
So it's the idea that every day has this energy signature.
Mm-hmm.
So that anything that is created on that day takes on that energy signature, becomes the representative of that energy signature. So what the actual playing cards is a calendar,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because there are 52 cards. So of course
Mm-hmm.
there are 52 weeks in a year.
Mm-hmm.
There are 13 court cards, which represent the 13 lunar months on a lunar month calendar.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are the four suits or four pips, which are the seasons. They represent the seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So this is an encoded calendar. And what it's been able to do is kind of reduce the complexity of all of the energy or karma that's associated with one day
Mm-hmm.
into a one card. So it's very, I kind of call cardology, like, for me, it's like data science.
Mm.
Because in data science, what we do is we categorize data, right? So that it becomes useful. So you may take a bunch of different things that doesn't seem like it's related, but
Mm.
then you categorize it and you find that there's a pattern. And that's what cardology does. It categorizes so much data that it gives us a tool to be able to kind of like almost like a computer, kind of go in there and look at the data and make predictions based off of that data, especially with the day.
Mm.
So everything has a card, right? Some cards have multiple days, like the Ace of Diamonds, for instance, appears multiple a lot of times in the year,
Mm.
right? But then you have some cards that are very rare, like an Ace of Hearts. An Ace of Hearts only appears once in a year,
Mm.
right? And then you have like a Three of Hearts, so people always hit me. I try to do the daily cards and they're like, I don't see my card.
Mhm.
Well, likely because your card is very rare and we haven't gotten to it yet.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
there are some cards that are massively abundant. Like I said, the Ace of Diamonds, Queen of Diamonds, Seven of Diamonds, a lot of diamonds, a lot of clubs that are very, very much out there. But being able to learn these cards and learn associated karmas and stuff like that, not only can tell you practically everything about a person that you meet who's that card,
Mhm.
but we're also able to make predictions because we have something called the grand solar spreads.
Mm.
So what the grand solar spreads are a bunch of shuffles that were done
Mm.
and recorded in time, right? And what's so powerful about the grand solar spreads is it there are 90 plates, right? It doesn't change. So when you have something that doesn't change, it crosses the line from being just purely spiritual to being scientific, right?
Mm.
Because science, you want to be able to do something repetitively. You need to be able to replicate something in order to prove it as a science. And that's one of the things that we can do with these spreads. So once you learn the spreads and you learn how to use the spreads, and these are age spreads, they cover every age, right? So you got age 1, you got age 0, you got age 2 and 3. And people who are on one spread, even if you're all on age 33, guess what? At age 33, there are things that happen to everybody within that spread,
Mm.
right? And then then you are the representative of your card, so it's how you perceive it. So your
Mm.
perception is going to be different from another 33-year-old.
Mm.
However, you're still living the same experience,
Mm.
you
Mhm.
know? So it's very simplified, and a lot of people can't understand how life can be so simplified, but we overcomplicate things. And I think that one of the reasons why this is becoming popular again and given to us again is because we need to simplify our own healing. We need to simplify, we need to have a tool
Mm.
that we can simplify our circumstances so that we don't dwell so long on trauma. You know, we don't, because the reason we dwell on trauma is because we want to understand why it happened, right? So this is a tool that can help you understand why anything in your life happened so that you can move on, you can let it go, and you can graduate to another level.
I think what I like about you offering this masterclass, this workshop, is because and the title is "Every Nigga is a Star." A lot of us don't have the confidence, and we don't know how special we are inside because of what we think we're defined by our ego, or by our job, or by how much money we got in the bank account, or by how much accomplishments we have in life, and that has nothing to do with who we are on an energetic base. It doesn't, but we are so special energetically. We're so rich, and we're so intuitive and spiritual.
We're
And
superheroes.
yeah.
And I love it. Like, this is what Cardology does for me. It
Mm,
helps me to look at people like you're like X-men and X-women and you
mm,
don't even know
mm,
it.
mm. Was you like that before you learned cardology, or is this something that I'm
Yeah,
just curious?
I've always been a psychic,
Mm,
but
mm,
and an astrologer and stuff like that. But what I
mm,
love about this is I don't like just giving people readings that they can't go back and investigate for themselves. So that's what I love about cardology is when I give them a reading or when we get them these cards, they can go back and investigate for themselves. They don't have to be stuck to me karmically or bound to me or whatever the case may be. I'm a teacher. I have Jupiter in Pisces in the 12th house. I'd
mm,
rather teach you than have you as this, long-term client or whatever. I would love to teach you.
Do you, in terms of us as individuals, uh, do you think? I guess we all have a unique superpower, then, huh?
We
Like
do.
it, everybody is unique to
Everybody
everybody.
does. It's wonderful to see it, and I see it sometimes on lower levels, like smaller levels, and
Yeah,
sometimes I see somebody displaying that superpower on a greater level.
yeah.
But it's yes, we do have superpowers, absolutely.
You know what was wonderful? I remember about this was probably about 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. A brother had wrote a long comment, a lengthy comment, and he was like, "Yo, I never thought asking questions was something that could be considered as special." And he was talking about, because he was complimenting my question. He was like, "Yo, Rich, you ask good questions. I never even thought asking somebody a question was something that could be considered a talent." That's what he was basically saying. So I mean, the average human wouldn't even think what I'm doing is a talent, but once I display it, it allows people to say, "Oh, that is a talent." So it's just about tapping into, like you said, your intuition and understanding who you are. And once you understand who you are, everybody else is going to reflect on what you see about yourself on the inside.
Yeah,
So it's
absolutely.
yeah, it's definitely a wonderful journey. Talk to me about I was telling the people about how our ESP is ramping up, it's kicking up. Some people are getting symptoms, some people don't know how to respond. How would you, for those people who have these spiritual gifts that are coming online, what bit of advice would you give them at this time? It may be a little scary for them.
Well, I would definitely say, there are plenty of spiritual guides and people here. You want to connect to other people. You don't, because one of the first things people tend to experience when they discover their gifts is a sense of
Yeah,
loneliness. You
yeah.
know, what do I do now? What do I do with this? But going into the Aquarian age, we're dealing with the Two of Spades, and the Two of Spades is a card of mentors. There are
Mm,
cards of helpers, aiders. There are plenty of people out there. And I know a lot of people are scared nowadays because of the past when you had the charismatic leader that took you down a rabbit hole,
yeah, yeah.
and left a lot of people hanging. But what we're finding is a more personal journey now. Now
Mm.
it's not you going to a congregation. Now it's you going to an individual, and you sharing things with an individual. So my suggestion is you value that, and what I mean by value that, just like you spend your money on nice clothes and stuff like that, put your money aside so that you can invest in your spiritual health.
No, indeed, indeed, I agree 1,000%. I think that there's no more master teachers. Is that the right way to say? You think no more master teachers?
No, everybody's a master teacher.
Mm.
There's many master teachers.
Mm. So you would say that, do you think organizations are going to still exist, say 50 years from now? Like
Yeah.
the churches and the lodges and, the fraternities and all these groups?
Absolutely, more in
Mm.
a decentralized manner. You know
Like
what I mean?
crypto,
I
right?
talked about
Like,
that. Yeah, I
yeah.
talked about that before. Decentralized organizations.
Hmm.
That's what we're going to see. We're going to see. We're still going to have organizations, but they'll be decentralized.
Hmm. Do you think the leaders, was that a good or a bad thing in the age of Pisces, with us having with all these leaders, these and people looked at them as messiahs and stuff like that? Was that a necessary thing we needed at that time?
Yeah, it was a necessary thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Every age is going to bring about its next necessary evolution, its necessary gifts. There are still some things that are gifts from the Piscean age that we're using right now.
Mm.
You know.
Mm. How long is the age of Aquarius?
Um I couldn't tell you exactly how long that age is, but what I could tell you is that there was a major transformation that took place. I think about a year ago, I talked about it. I would have to dig it back up.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a major, I think it was around the conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter in Capricorn. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's when it was, maybe about a year or two ago. But we passed through an age. There was some things that hasn't happened in thousands of years that has taken place in the last couple of years,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And when I looked at it as a card, we passed out of an age where we were ruled by the Seven of Spades. And the Seven of Spades is a very spiritual card, a lot to do with faith, but it also has a lot of trauma, like things like slavery,
Mm.
overpowering other people, stuff like that. So
Mm.
we moved and transited out of that card, but the thing is, we still have the residue of the trauma.
Mm.
So we still think we're in that, that trauma when we've moved past it. We're
Mm.
gone past it, right?
Mm.
So that's why I'm trying to tell people is that now that we're only in a very karmic time where we're in the middle of a pole shift, where the shift of power is changing, money is changing hands and stuff like that. But this is the time to reap karmic rewards, you know. So it's very important that you heal yourself so that you feel worthy of the karmic rewards so that you can access the karmic rewards that are due you right now. This is that time.
Yo, that's so important because that's a major block for some of us, is feeling worthy. We don't think we're worthy to get we want these things, but then we don't feel like we're worthy. So it's like a conflict within ourselves.
Absolutely. You talk to a lot of our folks, and they're like, well, we'll never get that. We're not
Mm.
going to do this. This is not
Mm.
going to happen. These are all worthiness issues, you
Mm.
know, and there's a lot at stake. So we
Mm.
have to bring our value up to know what we're worth and to command it and to take it.
Mhm, mhm. So I guess that ties into us feeling guilty, because that's something else a lot of us feel is guilt. Whereas, let's say we start becoming successful, but everybody around us isn't successful. What advice would you give to somebody like that?
Well, the problem with us as a people is that we have developed a heavy degree of perfectionism,
Mm.
right? So when you have perfectionism, and it's something you see when you're a coder and you're a developer, because you can't be a good coder and a developer if you have too much perfectionism, because
Mm.
everything that you code and develop is going to be flawed. That's why we have bugs, you
Mm.
know. So you have to be you have to slay that perfectionism in order to be able to achieve something, to accomplish something. I show people pictures of the first Apple. The first Apple looked horrible. It was a piece of wood and it didn't look good, right? But look at what it's evolved into. It's evolved into the iPhones that we use now, right? But we wouldn't get here if we didn't have that. So I tell people, I was like, in order to get to that place that you're trying to get to a success, you have to get through the failures. You have to have the failures, right? And you have to love everybody else through the failures too. And that's why we're terribly hard on ourselves. People ask like, well, why can't we support Black businesses, and why can't we do this, and why can't we do that? Because we're terribly hard on ourselves. We have a high degree of perfectionism for us. You know, we'll sign up for a company in Silicon Valley that's headed by some white dudes. They not have any customer service. You know, it'll seem like we're throwing money down the toilet, and we'll be okay, you know. But you have to, in this time, because we're in this new beginning and ending at the same time, you're gonna have to let down that perfectionism. You're gonna have to accept the flaws, accept the failures, and help each other through it. So that's our problem, because that's a God complex. The God complex is perfectionism, you know. So we're truly gods. We're truly deities, right? But we're here to learn and live a human experience, and we can't live happily with that God complex constantly. We have to be able to let our hair down. We have to be able to celebrate. We have to be able to be happy and be joyous. And it's really difficult when you're a perfectionist.
Wow. These are some gems, family. These are some gems moving into the age of Aquarius. I hope y'all listening. These are, I mean, like we in a whole new age right now. We got to move different from we moved in the age of Pisces. And Aquarius is giving out some serious gems right now. Once again, for those who came in a little late, I see we got about 1,600 people in here now. I'm live with Aquarius Maximus. Make sure you hit the like button. Shout out to King Simon in the chat. The Queen is going to do a workshop, a cardology workshop on September 3rd, and I'm partnering her with that, and I'm proud to because it's something that I feel as though is important. It's a workshop that's going to teach you how to fish, and you're not just getting fed fish. It's going to teach you how to fish. This is something that we all should know as a people. This is something that should be common in our households. This is something that we should pass down to our children, our grandchildren, and so on and so forth. The only other workshop I did this year was a Qigong workshop. I'm proud of it. I've been doing it. Not as much as I want, but I've been doing it. You know what I'm saying, family? So shout out to the brother Wayne Chandler. But I think this ties in perfectly with the Qigong workshop. If you do that and you apply the cardology and the science of the cardology, man, and y'all wonder why my year has been so magical this year. Family, I've been applying these sciences. I haven't been joking around with this stuff here. I'm not just interviewing the people. I'm actually learning. So once again, the sister's about to do she's gonna do a couple of readings for the family, just to give y'all an example. But I wanted to post the link once again for the workshop. Shout out, a couple of people signed up already. Shout out to everybody who signed up. Also, everybody who signs up within 72 hours will get a free life report. So yeah, it's a lot for the price that it is. And if you go to her website, it's a lot more money. So the sister's definitely looking out for the channel. So I advise everybody to jump on this bargain, this deal. You know what I'm saying, before it's gone, because time go by so fast. But once you sign up for the masterclass, you within 72 hours, you will also be emailed a free life report that's going to help you with the class and just help you understand things about yourself before the class. So yeah, it's going to be magnificent. I want to take this shout out to Divine Warrior. Yeah, Divine Warrior says she's going to sign up. I appreciate it because Aquarius, she said she was feeling a little down and she said she needed this live. What do you think about, are a lot of people feeling down? Is that a symptom, a such a symptom?
Yeah, well, we got some pretty heavy transits going on astrologically.
Okay.
You know, we have I think we got Mars, Uranus, Saturn, everything going down in the skies, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the secret is there's a secret, because people get frustrated when Saturn is involved, because Saturn slows you down, stops you in your tracks. You know, you got expectations, you got big expectations, but it's not happening. But what the secret to mastering Saturn is to, number one, you got to be authentic in what you're pursuing, so you have that kind of passion. But Saturn likes commitment. You know what I mean? It likes commitment. So you got to be really committed to whatever it is at this time, because there are times when you think something really great is going to happen based off of what you're doing, and it doesn't happen right away. And people want to give up. They want to get sad. They want to get depressed. And they don't know that this is a part of the process. This is testing your endurance. You know what I mean? And you got to keep going. Like, you got to keep plowing through, because there are a lot of rewards coming. A lot, and they've already begun. Like, I'm already seeing them. There's a lot of rewards, so you can't give up, right? You cannot, not one little minute. Yeah, relationships would be really tough right now. You know what I mean? Because all of these transits and stuff like that are going on are killer on relationships. So there's a lot of pressure on relationships. But that's because you got to pull yourself out of that relationship thing and develop a better relationship with yourself. You know, it's really about self right now, and strengthening yourself so that you can get through these times. We're in war times, and it's only going to get worse. You know what I mean? However, war times are also times of creativity. So this, as is, it is an ending, it is a beginning. So you got to be ready to focus on this beginning and building this beginning, because this is everything you asked for. You know, this is definitely what I asked for. You know, freedom from all of that, and freedom to be able to do what I'm passionate about with the people I'm passionate about. This is what I asked for. So it's, you know, you gotta hang in there. And there are tools. If you're suffering from various different emotional stuff, a lot of times with my clients, I give them box flower essences. Please get on box flower essences. Those things are the truth. You know what I mean? I'm actually about to release a line myself. But if you're suffering from depression, you can get mustard flower essences. You can get minimalist. All of these things help you to deal with transformation, which are your ascension symptoms that you're talking about, right? And box flower essences work by reprogramming your electromagnetic frequency using flowers, you know? And so, and this alters your emotions and your emotional responses. So there are things, and sometimes they're so simple. You don't have to go on a 60-day fast or anything like that. Just get you some flower essences and you're going to be okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely true. You know, as far as men, and maybe I want you to comment on this. We get left out of a lot of things,
Yeah,
because we think it's not masculine. So we miss out on a lot of spiritual shit. I remember when I was young, I used to miss out on I ain't practicing yoga. When I thought of yoga and I see the dudes that was in yoga, I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I'm like, man, I'm not practicing no shit that look like that. But then I get older and older and older, and I see the benefits of yoga. I'm like, damn, yo, that's crazy how a whole generation didn't want to practice something because we was taught that it wasn't masculine enough.
but
And when you
that's
good,
why you got to know yourself and know
yeah,
your
yeah, you gotta,
part and
yeah.
find yourself. My
Mm-hmm.
son, my oldest son, is an ace of diamonds, and they suffer from mood swings. I give him box flower essences, but also it's really good for him to do martial arts. He does martial arts. He does mixed martial arts. He does all of this. This is where he puts his anger. You know, he channels that into martial arts and stuff like that. So all of these things are like really effective. And then a lot of you guys are becoming vegan, right? And what is that going to do? That's going to bring more of your feminine side to the forefront.
Them niggas is crazy. Woo! Them vegan niggas is crazy.
Yeah, I don't care how much, you know, you can be masculine, but veganism is going to bring more of your feminine side to the forefront, right? So, you know, these things are, you know, I was told a long time ago, honestly, I was told like years ago by Spirit, like veganism is for men. You know, like more so than anybody, you know, just so that you can take advantage of this spiritual journey that's here for you. So you can let down your defenses and allow yourself. I understand that a lot of brothers, they just don't trust because you got broken trust between the parents and the mother and stuff like that. So you just don't, it's just broken trust, you know, so that trust has to be rebuilt. But there's so much, like, there's a huge transformation coming from men, especially like brothers. Like, I'm telling you, like next year, it's coming.
Mm. Yeah, I got into my essential oils years ago, probably about 8 years ago. And when I first got into them, I started because I put it on my pillow, right? So I'm putting it on my pillow and I'm looking around like somebody looking. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's like I'm feeling guilty about the shit. I got lavender and the shit just sounds soft. And I'm
Yeah,
putting lavender. And I'm
yeah.
looking around like, can anybody see me? But the shit, you
Jasmine.
know what I'm saying? But the shit smells so good. I go right to sleep like a little baby and shit. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
shout out to the lavender essential oil for putting a nigga to sleep, because that is amazing.
yeah.
And that's just the age we in, family.
Yeah, essential oils, crystals, whatever your modality is, that we gravitate, even by cards, we gravitate to certain modalities. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, fam, we having a great conversation. Times are changing. We're entering the age of Aquarius, and our spiritual gifts are coming online, and we're being interested in things we normally weren't interested in. And this is not to confuse you with the programming that's going on mainstream TV. They got such a distraction on there. You could mistake your spiritual ascension for that bullshit, and it's really not. We're tapping into something that's divine within us, a divine feminine that has nothing to do with the distraction we see on TV. So I definitely want, as a representative of the male species down here, I definitely want my brothers to sign up for the Cardology Masterclass. And the reason why I say this, Aquarius Maximus, why I want the brothers to sign up for this workshop is because when we think of astrology, Aquarius, and we think of oracles, it's always sisters, because y'all receptive and y'all bring life into this matrix, and y'all got that special connection with the divine creator. But I want my brothers to tap into these gifts, because I got a hell of a psychic ability and a hell of an intuition in me. And I know the brothers do too, but we oftentimes suppress it. So talk to me about brothers who, and with these, like, have you ever heard of a brother that's an oracle? Like, is that rare? What you think about that? An oracle nigga. An oracle nigga. What you think about that? Is that possible?
Brothers are I got a lot of brothers I work with in cardology, and they're awesome, because especially with cardology, because cardology really does appeal to the logical mind. And I use a lot of my intuition with it, don't get me wrong, but it is very logical. It's very like I said, it's like data science. So when they get into it, they really, really do well with it because of that logical connection. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that logical understanding, having that understanding, which is what we want. We want to be able to understand the whys, because that's really all we want to know. We've been through trauma, we've been through different things. We just want to know, why did we experience that? Why did it have to be that way? And does it have to be that way in the future? Can I change that? And you can. It oftentimes doesn't have to be hard. I always tell people, when I'm doing reading, I'm like, you can do this the easy way, or you can do it the hard way. But because we're on a 5 planet and we love recreation, we love to do it the hard way. It's exciting. A lot of times doing it the easy way is boring, and we don't like to be bored. So it just boils down to that.
Yeah, I want to I'm curious, can you teach someone, because I'm thinking about the workshop, are you able to teach someone how to be intuitive, or that's just something they got to be born with?
Yes, you can teach everybody's intuitive, but you can teach somebody to strengthen their intuition, and that's what cardology does.
Yeah, you got to make sure you touch on that. That's important. Yo,
Yeah.
Aquarius, you touch it on that, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Everybody. That's why I do the card of the day. When I do the card of the day and I introduce the energy that is present, it helps people to lock into that present energy, and that helps to strengthen their confidence and faith in their own intuition, because oftentimes they already know these things, but they need some reinforcement. They're like, they need confirmation. I tell people, most people come to me for a reading, I'm like the confirmation person.
It'd be like that. Yeah.
I'm like, I might not be telling you nothing you don't know, but I'm giving you the confirmation that what you know is indeed, what you need to know.
Yeah. To everybody asking about the workshop, and can you watch it for a lifetime? Yeah, you have lifetime access to it. You have absolutely lifetime access to it. This is why I'm saying it's so important, because you can share it with your children and with your grandchildren. And I'm not saying that just to say that. I'm dead serious. Like, this is something. Hold on to this. Remember, I showed y'all weeks ago the cassette tape from a Sister Maya reading. Let me give me talk to the people real. Let me show them something. Talk to the people real quick, Aquarius.
He dipped out on me. I think one of the most important things that I'm dealing with right now, what I'm seeing come to the forefront with us and Cardology, is communication, right? It's communication. That's where we have a serious problem when it comes to our relationships, is communication. And interestingly, I learned a lot about your card recently, the 7 of Clubs.
You gotta tell me. You gotta tell me what you know, Aquarius. You gotta tell.
7 of Clubs really, really means that is the card that can tame the beast. You know what I mean? With good communication, loving communication, you know, intentional communication. And I'm talking to a lot of women with that, because, you know, that's the problem with our relationships. People think, well, it's feminism, and it's just, no, it's communication. You know, we were not communicated in a loving manner ourselves, right? A lot of us, you know, a lot of us, we had those parents, you know, that cussed us out, that did this, that did that. We don't even know what loving communication looks like, you know? So loving communication is that thing that can heal a relationship, that can make a relationship go well, you know? So we have to learn how to communicate with each other again. And that is the key thing that I see. Like, this is what Spirit's like really hammering in, is like communication, you know, respectful communication, loving communication, because communication is like playing a harp. You know, you play a certain tune, you're going to get a certain reaction, you're going to get a certain result. So, but if you play another tune, you're going to get another reaction. You know, so this is king communication. That's actually the name of the book that I'm working on. One of the books that I'm working on is about king communication, because most of us out there are kings. You know, even some of the women are kings, you know, and there's a particular way that you communicate with a king. You know, whether it's the majority of them, of course, are the guys out there.
How can a woman be a king? I got to cut you off for that. How can a woman be
a king? Because a woman might be a king of clubs. She might be a king of spades. She might be a king of diamonds. You know, I myself, my king is a king of diamonds. I'm a king of diamonds, right? So that makes me a master in business and a master at creativity, etc. Right? But then you got some women who are king of clubs and they're king of spades. And they're, you know, what technically people would label as alphas, right? But even they can be with a king man or whatever, but they'll really have to learn their communication style, because you don't want to communicate with your man like a king. You're a king, you know what I mean? You just don't want to. But you know, you still have to. You were born a king because you're leading in some area of your life. You are a leader, right? And nobody can take that away, right? But you want to be a leader, and you want to be in love. You love your guy, you know what I mean? And he's a king too. And my godmother always says, two big noses can't kiss. So that's what she says, right? So somebody has to be the peacemaker. You know what I mean? So a lot of that just falls into communication. And I think that that's where we need, you know, that's where the attention is being given right now, because of where we're going. Like this whole divine partnership, soul families, all of these people are coming together. You know what I mean? And a lot of times as a leader, when you're a king, you go internationally, you do business, you're talking to somebody in another country, you know you have to talk to people in foreign countries a certain way, because you don't want them to misunderstand your intentions or whatever. But the same thing applies in your house, in your home, and who you're dealing with.
I like that you say shit that sound controversial sometimes, that makes somebody think. And I don't want nobody, what I don't like, you remind me, and I know you're going to be like, huh? You made a post. I never tell you this. You made a post like a year ago or something. And when you made a post, I said, she remind me of Kevin Samuels in the sense that,
you know, I'm a 10 of diamonds Neptune. So I have a very small part of him as well. But
you made a post that could easily offend the other sex but I don't get offended by shit easily. So when you wrote it was something about males, and the average dude would be like, man, she's some man, he ain't black bitch, da 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 da. And I'm like, oh, okay, Aquarius, okay, that's deep. And you know, Kevin, he says this shit that'll make the other sex mad or whatever. So I like when you say certain things when in terms of relationship, because it's really thought provoking. And what you said right now, a lot of women will be scared to say that. Like that women can be kings, and the way you broke it down was wow, okay. So I like when you talk like that, because it's a learning experience for all of us. I feel so. I'm glad relationships is going to be part of this masterclass. I feel as though we could all benefit and learn from it, because we all have masculine and feminine energy within us. And I always got to put it's so crazy right now. I always got to say a disclaimer. We're not talking about the weird shit that's being promoted on mainstream media. We're talking about spirituality. We all have masculine and feminine energy within us, and utilized the right way, it is absolutely amazing. So, but what I want to tell you real quick, Queen, before we continue, somebody asks, is this workshop, can they have it forever? And my answer is absolutely yes. And that's exactly what I did as a student. This is from 5505, 2005. And this is an astrological reading from Myra. I'm passionate about this, so I wanted to show y'all. This is from Sister Myra, and this is from 5505. She gave me a reading. And you keep these forever, family. If you get if I give you an MP3 or whatever of this reading, or you get a download or a link, you keep that, put that on a hard drive. You keep it forever, family. And 20 years from now, do what I'm doing. Pull the hard drive out to your little kids and be like, yo, I took a master class in cardology in 2022, and I'm here to share this information with you. How y'all think I got to where I'm at now? Because I was where y'all was at. I was a student, and when I was a student, I took this shit serious, and I saved it. And I treated it like it was gold. You know how people save money? People save gold, they save silver. I save cassette tapes of astrological readings, because this is important. So I want y'all to do the same thing. Y'all save this, y'all keep it, y'all guard it. Your library is very important, family. It's very important, all right? So I'm gonna share this link one more time before we continue.
I see a lot of questions about this king and queen. And,
go into that, sis. Go into that real quick.
I know people have brought up recently, there's a couple of films coming out about women kings.
Yeah, this year.
Yeah. There is, right? And yes, women kings have been here for eternity. Some women are born, like I said, some women are born a king of spades. If you're born January 1st, you're a king of spades. You're a Capricorn, king of spades, right? But what has happened in the past because of patriarchy, you know, a lot of women have suppressed that king energy. It was like, I don't want to be that person. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But that king energy has a purpose. You're a leader in some way, you know, so you have to find your way of being a leader. But that doesn't mean that you can't coexist in a relationship with another king, with a king who's a king man. I oftentimes find that king women love king men, you know? They don't necessarily want queen men, or whatever.
Would that be like Beyonce and Jay? Would that be an example that we could all see?
Yeah, that would be an example, because she's a 7 of diamonds, which is a fixed card. So it makes her in the triangle of the king of spades, you know? So, and she also has a king of hearts in Uranus. So she has 2 kings, you know? So yeah, absolutely. And it's as an ace of diamonds, his transformation card is the 2 of clubs, which has a king of spades. He's a very strong king of spades as well, and a king of diamonds, right? So they're there to show you how they can coexist. You know, they can coexist. I would imagine that in the stories of Queen Sheba, and King David, I believe Queen Sheba was a king, you know. So, and if you notice that they kind of lived separately, you know, they ran separate, you know, things, and that will happen sometimes with 2 kings. You'll have an area that you run and you're a leader in, and they have an area that they run and they're a leader in. But that doesn't make them any less of a woman that they're a king. As a matter of fact, king women tend to be very beautiful. You know what I mean? And very quote unquote feminine, you know, but when it comes down to whatever area that they're leading in life, they're strong. They're strong as you know, as a they're beast in what area that they lead in life.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a great conversation. And I know to some of y'all it's confusing, but where language, because of the language you use, things get confusing, but you have to really use context is king, and you got to understand she's using context